Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be talking about the Black Moon Lilith in the 4th house in a natal chart. Well, the first thing I want to talk about as far as this placement goes, well, this could bring out, the very negative manifestation and the dark side of this particular house. Now, I have the Black Moon Lilith in the 4th house. It's interesting to look at this, and there can be perhaps a disconnect from family. This person might feel ostracized or may feel condemned by one or more family members. They may feel like they've played the position left out for some time, and in terms of their family life, there might have been a passing of one or more family members or prominent family members sometime early in the person's life. This is a placement too where this person might feel some instability in their home life. This could be something where this person may move constantly, very peripatetic to say the least. And I've had numerous moves, and I've also lost a prominent family member when I was 3 years old, and I grew up essentially almost my whole life without a father. I also have Saturn in the 12th house, so that doesn't help as well. So, and the thing too is, the 4th house also represents our emotional security. So there can be some trying at times as far as this goes, and having that having emotional security in one's life. The 4th house also represents the end of life, and there might be some overwhelming concern about this this person. This person might be a little bit morbid or morose, and this might be something where this person might have some worry and fear regarding the conditions at the end of their life, and what they're going to have. Are they going to survive at that point in time? As I stated before, I have the Black Moon Lilith in the 4th house, and I even wonder if I'm going to have what I need as far as subsistence and survival at that point in time. Now, another thing that the Black Moon Lilith can represent, it's where it's placed in terms of the house. It can represent where we feel a strong state of fright or trepidation. And the Black Moon Lilith in the 4th house, well, that can somebody that has that placement may feel frightened at the possible loss of a home. I know a lot of people do, regardless of their Black Moon Lilith placement, but even more intensified, I believe, with somebody that has the Black Moon Lilith in the 4th house. It could be a feeling of being alone, being desolate, not having that place to live, not having perhaps really, maybe they're having the conditions they need at the end of life, and perhaps dying without really having a strong connection with the family, or being able to even make their own family. If it's at a point in time where the person doesn't have a family, this could be a very strong fear of that person. Now, another thing is with the Black Moon Lilith, it could also indicate that area in life where one tries to extricate themselves from, but may have tremendous difficulty in doing so. Now, being in the 4th house of home and family, it could be a contentious situation that involves one or more family members. It could be an unsettling living experience that this person is going through. There's some chaos in the home life. It could be a situation where where they're going or what they're doing at a point in time in life, they may be concerned whether they're going to have what they need for the latter part of their life. Maybe it's something where, based on the situation they're in, they may feel that they're not doing what they need to have whatever it might be, money saved up in the bank to have what they need for the end of life, that latter part of life, I should say. And this could be something that could be very unsettling to this person. It could be perhaps maybe the loss of the mother, maybe more so than the average person. That is, if the person does have a good rapport with the mother and they are and it's a situation where they're compatible, a person's compatible with her. Now, also, where the Black Moon Lilith is placed in one's chart, this could indicate also, based on a house placement, could represent a person or people that may figure prominently in one's life scheme, play a very strong dominant role. It could even be an adversary, so it could be adversarial. So a person could figure strongly one way or the other in connection with that fourth house. Now, given that it's the fourth house, well, it could be that maybe one or more family members figure prominently in one's life scheme, more so than the average family member. I know family members often play an integral role in one's life, but this more so than the other, than average. It could be the mother. Perhaps it's people that are in some kind of fourth house profession, such as cultivation, gardening, home renovation, real estate brokers. Somebody that may be in a fourth house profession could be somebody that might really play a dominant role in the person's life, and also could wind up being a very formidable adversary at the same time. So anyway, where the Black Moon Lilith is placed in one's chart could also show that area in life where that they don't want unveiled, they don't want it to be disclosed or come out of the closet. And given that we're talking about the fourth house, well, perhaps it's something in the person's and their roots somehow. It could be an ancestor, it could be a family member. Some cases maybe there was some mental illness with one or more people in the family. There could be a nefarious side to one of these, to one or more family members, and they just don't want it to come out of the closet, so to speak. Maybe this person does have, it's that what I talked about before with the being in trepidation over conditions at near the end of the person, or at the end of the person's life, the latter part of one's life, that they just don't feel comfortable acknowledging and talking about to others. Maybe there was something connected with the traditions in the family that were dark, that they just don't want to come out. And also, even matters in emotional security could be some issues with that, and just something in their home life in general, that something that was turbulent in their home life, just they don't want, person may not want it to come out. So anyway, well, also, this could, where the Black Moon Lilith is placed in one's chart, can show it's the strong, erotic, uninhibited sexual energy. So, given that it's in the fourth house, well, perhaps that this person really, they might entice their lover, or I should say prospective sexual lover, in being very motherly to him with that strong erotic expression, and being very nurturing perhaps, but at the same time they might entice others, potential sexual lovers, by perhaps promising them a home, for example, giving them a roof over the head, telling them that they'll help them create him or her a family, things of that nature. And what they could wind up doing ultimately, in some cases, wind up using this against them. Well, for instance, saying, well, I'm giving you a home, and you're basically, if you're gonna, like, for example, if you're gonna even be belligerent toward me, I'll just throw you out. I mean, I know that's a little extreme, but I think the example can apply, and get them and promise them all these things connected with the home, and at the same time be able to use this against them later on in order to have their way, use this as power over them, I should say, to have their way with these people later on and get them to do basically whatever. So anyway, last but not least, this is about, on the positive side, with the Black Moon Lilith, you can embrace a higher level of it. And given that you can embrace the higher level of it, I think in many cases this person may have felt some deprivation or felt deprived of having their strong family life, perhaps when they were younger. But what this can do is this could give this person the impetus and incentive to have their own family later on, whether it's actual biological or simulated family members, basically create their own family as a result of this. Basically, what I'm saying is converting lemons to lemonade, so to speak, and maybe do something as far as work with in a fourth house, like professions such as real estate. It could be somebody that works in cultivating or gardening, home renovation, repair, something like that. It could be somebody doing siding on a house, doing roofing. So anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for the Black Moon Lilith in the 4th house in a natal chart. And stay tuned next time where I'll be talking about the Black Moon Lilith in the 5th house in a natal chart. Two things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person, astrologically speaking, based on this alone, because astrologically speaking, the person is the sum of all their components in their natal chart and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.